Hi people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Teno Merkaba, and today I'm going to be talking about the Taurus moon. And then in my next video, I'm going to talk about Taurus moon through the houses, through the 12 astrological houses of life. But basically, what is Taurus, right? So Taurus is fixed earth, right? So it's stubborn, it's consistent, doesn't change. It's not a mutable earth. It's not like Virgo, and it's not initiating practicality like Capricorn. It's ruled by Venus, which is love. So Tauruses love and appreciate their own stability, right? They love and appreciate their own ways of being practical and their own thoughts. And then it's the second house. It's ruled by the second house, so it's value. So they love and appreciate and value love and their own thoughts and their own senses, right? They value themselves also, right? But basically, the basic archetype of Tauruses, and this could be for both men and women, but Tauruses are very, like I said, they're very stubborn in their ways, right? Because they love and appreciate their own ways of living, right? Because what is Earth? Earth is grounding, your sense of foundation, building a foundation. And Taurus is like love and appreciate, because there's the Venus. They love and appreciate stability, right? And they value stability and they value building a foundation with people, right? And like having like sort of a thing to rely on, like a basic stance. We should, but a basic stance to rely on, like so that like something isn't shaky, you know what I'm saying? Not like Gemini, where things are kind of all over the place, but it's more so like they have a sense of like stability, basically, all earth signs share that quality. But earth is also about nurturing, nurturing the body specifically. But Tauruses can overdo this, because of the Venus aspect, because they may love and appreciate that too much. And when it's in the moon, because it's exalted in the moon, this is an exaltation place. So exaltation means that specific zodiac sign in that specific planet, aka the moon in Taurus, absolutely loves to be there, right? And the moon is how we manifest and what makes us feel comfortable. It's how we react, and it's basically that the world that we live in, right? So Taurus being here, Taurus absolutely loves this, because the moon is basically how we nurture ourselves and how we feel nurtured, right? So if Taurus is here, and Taurus is about stability, and Taurus is about building a foundation, then the moon feels comfortable in knowing that in Taurus, it's like steady, it's not shaky. Because the other nice placement for this would be Cancer, where it's home, where it's more so about like having an emotional stability, and having emotional nurture. In Taurus, it makes this practical, right? So think of a Cancer moon being somewhat the emotions of, oh, I'm going home and it's going to feel warm, and I'm going to have food that's going to make me feel good. I'm going to be in my room that's going to make me feel good, but the Taurus aspects of this is, oh, we have money, so money is an actual physical thing. It's, oh, we have a bed, which is a physical thing. We have food, physical thing. We have clothes, physical thing. Shoes, physical things, so that's the thing. That's kind of the similarities that Cancer and Taurus have, right? So you can think of Cancer as basically being the emotion of comfort, and then Taurus being the actual physicality of comfort. So that's why Tauruses are like manifest, so they can manifest physically the comfort of what a Cancer would feel. So Cancers make you feel comfortable, whereas Taurus will bring you things, physical things that you can see, touch, taste, to make you feel comfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? So they're basically somewhat doing the same thing, but not technically. You know what I'm saying? Because with the Taurus aspect, there's Venus too. So Taurus is love and appreciate comfort, right? Whereas the Cancer side is more so, this is what makes them feel comfortable, right? So comfort to Cancers is everything, but this isn't about Cancers, right? So but this is kind of the relationship that they have. So that's why a lot of Tauruses and Cancers will have a very great relationship, because they kind of understand the importance of comfort, and the importance of setting a foundation so that you can build in comfort. You know what I'm saying? So with this, with the exaltation of the moon in with Taurus being in the moon, Taurus is a very family orientated, right? And once again, the moon is how you nurture, so they very much are like how they feel comfortable is being in nurtured, like being nurtured, right, and being at home. That's why Taurus is sun, moons, right, and Venus are very family orientated. They love their moms, especially. I feel like a lot of Taurus moons either had a Taurus mother, like a Taurus sun sign mother, or Virgo sun sign mother, or even a Capricorn sun sign mother, or their mother had like their moon or their sun in the second house, or maybe they had a Libra mother, you know. But I think most of the time, because my dad has a Taurus moon, and one of my ex-girlfriends also had a Taurus moon, and her mother was a Taurus sun. My dad is a Taurus moon, and his mother was a Sagittarius sun, but I think my grandmother's a Taurus. I'm gonna do a birth chart, but I'm very sure she was either a Virgo moon or a Taurus moon. Yeah, but anyway, or she was a something Venus. Either I know her Venus, but anyway, it's not about her. I just know that she had like a lot of earthy things to her. My grandmother speaking now. But generally, I know a lot of Taurus moon people with their moms. Their moms have Taurus sons, or they have Venus sons, right? So basically, like how you grew up, your mother, basically how you grew up. See, I'll speak on my dad for a little bit. So he grew up in apartheid, right? So that was like crazy times, and he didn't have a father, but he had a mother, right? And his mother also was kind of like, my grandmother was kind of like in and out of jobs because back then it was super hectic. So he had to move in with my other family members, right? And it was kind of struggling. They were like struggling and shit like that because of apartheid, whatever. But it could be, as a Taurus moon, you didn't really have to grow up in somewhat of a stable house, right? So one side of this is, and I said all of that to say this to come, but I'm going to say what I have to say before I listen. Anyway, so Taurus moons, one side, you could have grown up with a very nurturing family that always gave you things, and made sure that you always had the necessary physical things in order to like feel comfortable. So food, you probably always got your favorite foods, or you probably always got you always had nice clothes. You had a house that smelled nice. Your mom probably smelled really nice, or your dad smelled really nice. There was a lot of Venus in your house. Good food, good company, good music. Your family may have been a very musical family, or just anything dealing with the arts. Painting, painters. That's my cousin's painting, by the way. I'm gonna link his thing down, his Instagram down. But yeah, you may have grown up in a very Venusian family, painters, artists, sculptors, whatever, or cooks, just anything that's Venusian and Taurus. Like, you may have grown up in that family. Or on the other side, you may have grown up in a very poor family, right? But because you had that sense of stability within yourself, you steadily worked towards getting your own like your own home that has a foundation, that has stability, that has good food, good Venusian, da 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 da. But either way, with having a Taurus moon, you somewhat do appreciate like Taurus things. So you probably did, even like I said, even if you did grow up in a very poor family, you probably still like you felt comfortable with these Taurus like things. You felt comfortable. You're probably very stingy with food, right? Or whatever that you had, you felt very connected to. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, because Taurus, once again, Taurus is a very possessive sign, right? The thing for Taurus, or the second house, is I have, right? So everything that Taurus has emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, they see these as possessions. They see these as things that they have, that they own. So they're, even when they date someone, they see them as a possession. Like, you are my boyfriend. The same way, this is my phone, you're my boyfriend. This is my pillow, you're my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Taurus have. So if a Taurus, once again, if they give you something, it's because it's an extension of them. So that's like kind of how they show you their love. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Libra, the masculine side of Venus, which would be Libra, how they show you is by communicating and interacting and like sharing ideas and kind of merging in your own experiences and your own backgrounds, and like oh, you're this way, I'm this way. Oh my God, we have so much in common. Let's become one, because they are the sign of partnership, right? So, but with Taurus, they have similarities because, I mean, both of them are doing Venus, but they're doing it one is doing it in a cardinal way and one is doing it in a fixed way. But with the fixed way of it, the Taurus aspect of it, how Taurus will show you their love is through giving you things, right? So even if they give you a specific emotion, it's like, okay, well, here you go. Here's this emotion that I give you. You can have it now. But if you kind of abuse that, or if you show the Taurus that like you're kind of taking advantage of that, then they can get very like somewhat like like kind of not like Aries very mad, somewhat kind of like a Virgo. You know how Virgos get mad? Virgos kind of like they don't throw a tantrum, they kind of get naggy, like, why the fuck are you? Why? They maybe not say why the fuck, but like, why you do this? Why? Da, 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 da. But it takes time though, because the Taurus will first see how you do things, Because maybe they let it slide the first time, second time, but they like mentally storing it. They're like storing things that you do mentally, and you may not see because you may think, oh, I can take advantage of this Taurus person because Taurus people are like once they get situated in a friendship or relationship with you, they don't like to change, because they're very, for them to even be in a relationship with you, it probably took them some time to figure out that, oh, okay, you've shown me this amount of love, so now like you belong to me now. So everything that belongs to them, they like to hoard in, right? They like to hold on to that. So it will take a while for the Taurus to even like get to a place for them to be like, okay, you're not good for me. Let's just end this right now. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Because even for them to get to that decision, it's going to take them a very long time. You would have to show the Taurus, so like you would have to give the Taurus somewhat like you'd have to show them so many actions, or like you would have to really do something to that Taurus for them to be like, okay, fuck no, because Taurus is a very like they're kind of like Pisces in a way where they love you unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? That unconditional love. And Pisces and Taurus share the Venus aspect. Only in Pisces it's exalted. So Pisces really love unconditionally. And Taurus is too, you can come to a Taurus with anything. But as long as you show the Taurus, like the loyalty that they have, because Taurus is value loyalty too, because they're not only are they loyal to themselves, and not only are they loyal to the things that they love and appreciate, aka food, just the basic comforts of life. They're very loyal to those things, but they're also loyal. Like if you are part of their lives, then once again, you are also one of those possessions. They view you like they view you food, or they view you, or not so much view you, but the same way they would treat food, the same way they would treat watching their favorite show, the same way they would like view same way that they would treat like their favorite drinks if they smoke, the same way that they would treat those things, they're going to treat you the same way. So they may like if a Taurus moon, just watch how a Taurus moon operates though, because these are things that make them feel comfortable. So they don't want to like, if they don't want to like, they're not like, so they are very giving people, right? But if they give you something, it's really because like I said, it's an extension of who they are. So this is how they're showing you they love you, because generally a Taurus, they're not stingy people, especially if they really fuck with you, right? But it's more so like you have to, like if they, even if they don't know you like that, like they kind of know how to, they're generous people, right? But it's just specific things that Tauruses hold on to dearly, like family members too, that they won't like openly give out freely. If it's something like, oh, one day you needed money because you couldn't get this, yeah, it's like, okay, no stress. But if you come to the Taurus every day with that expectation that, oh, okay, they're gonna give you money, then they're gonna obviously in their head formulate that, oh, okay, this person is just using me for money. And then that's when they kind of start getting stingy with that, because they're like, oh, okay, now you're using me for that kind of thing. So generally in those aspects, they're very generous, but they know when to stop. You know what I'm saying? But it's different when you're closer to them, because if you're closer to them, it's somewhat here's what they share with their opposite sign Scorpio, right? So with the Scorpio, they kind of like wheel you in, and then once you're in, you can't get out. Well, they make sure that you don't get out, right? With either emotional manipulation or like giving you past memories, like, I remember when I remember da 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 da. So this is what a Taurus will do with you too, right? but Tauruses do this practically. So, and I know this. So I'll speak on my ex-girlfriend, for example. She was a Taurus moon, right? And when we broke up, I remember we went out to a little thing and we like hung out, right? So how, let's say you and this Taurus person broke up, right? So remember, Tauruses don't like change, and if you build like let's say, and this goes with Sun and Moon Tauruses and Venus. So let's say you and this Taurus person, you had a friendship or a relationship, and in that friendship relationship, you guys used to do specific things. Like, let's say you would go to a park every Tuesdays or whenever you'd want to, and then you guys would like smoke and like drink wine, and you would, I don't know, like you would lay on her lap, or I don't know, you guys would play with each other's hair, or there was a specific food that you guys like to eat together, or there was like a specific thing you like to talk about, or specific things that you did. See now how that, like, your relationship obviously had a foundation. So you built on smoking, you built on eating your favorite foods, you built on watching specific things, you built things, right? So every day that you guys were together, you guys built a foundation. So you were building that house, right? So now let's say for whatever reason you guys broke up or the friendship ended. Now let's say you guys meet up again, just to hang out, whatever. So if this Taurus person wants you back in their lives, right, or if they feel like they want you back in their lives, how they're gonna go about doing this is like remind you physically though of the things that you guys used to do, right? So this, I feel like Cancers can be like this too, but most of the time, like I'm speaking about Tauruses, they like do specific things, or like they'll be like, oh, okay, let's go to our pizza place, because that's what we like to do, or that's what we like to eat, or hey, I bought these cigarettes, so because I know you like these, or they lay on your lap the same way that you did when you were dating, when you were friends, or I don't know, they just do things that you did when you were friends, right? So now you, as whatever other sign that you are, you may start thinking, oh, whoa, this person is trying to get me back, or I don't know, this person's like, I don't know, this person, and they may, like, let's say they have an air sun sign, right? Let's say their sun is in Libra or Aquarius or Gemini, right? They may even say specific things that they used to say when you guys were dating, or they may, like, I don't know, play a specific song that you guys listened to when you were dating, when you were friends, and then you may start thinking, oh, this person is trying to get back with me, right? And either A, Taurus person probably is trying to get back at you, trying to get back with you, or B, they're just trying to like remind you of how things used to be, so that you get in your mind, like in your mind, you start thinking, oh wow, oh I miss you, oh we should get back to you. They might send you pictures, like old pictures that you guys used to take. This goes for Sun and Moon Tauruses, right? And Venuses, by the way. But in the moon sign, because you're trying to get that comfort back, right? Because this is your this is your emotional foundation. This is how you gain stability. And once upon a time, that person used to somewhat be a representation of your stability within yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of Taurus moon signs will do that. And then you might start thinking, okay, this person wants to get back together, but this is not why I came here, or let's say you did want that, so you'll be very happy that this Taurus person is someone on the same page, because then you can like finish, like you can continue where you left off, that type of thing. So I feel like a lot of cancers and Taurus, if you are a Cancer sun and like you have a Taurus moon friend, I feel like this is a lot better. Or if you're a Cancer and you're dating a Taurus moon person, then I feel like you guys kind of know how to make each other comfortable. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, yeah, that's how Taurus moons behave in relationships. Because they're very possessive. They're very possessive people, and like let's say they have a Taurus moon conjunct Venus. Oh my God! Oh, if it's like conjunct Venus and conjuncting Jupiter. Okay, you probably also, if you have that placement, but generally if you have a Taurus moon or Taurus rising, you're probably very thick and you're very beautiful. Taurus people are very, very beautiful. Beautiful cheekbones, beautiful lips, very lovely voices, or they can sing somehow, even if they don't have a nice speaking voice, they have a nice singing voice. But something about specific areas of them doing something with their voices will somehow be nice. These are people that can be like radio personalities or whatever. But generally, Taurus people, their faces are very, very beautiful. You know, like very thick, nice, they have nice big boobs. And if they're men, they can be very chubby, but they're like the kind of chubby guys that are like super cute. I think of Action Bryanston when I think of Taurus moon. He's a Sagittarius sun and he's a Scorpio moon though. I don't know about his ascendant sign. I don't know. I think he could be a Taurus rising, could be a Leo rising. I don't know. But I always think of Action Bryanston when I think of like Taurus energy. You know, he's like very chubby and he likes food and he's a cook. Action Bryanston is a cook. He cooks and like he's just very well groomed. You know what I'm saying? And he smokes a lot of weed, but he likes smoking weed. You know, I feel like that's. But then that could also just be on the Sagittarius side because Sagittarius is like smoking and drinking too. But anyway, and Pisces. And then if Tauruses start doing that and they start appreciating that shit, then they can overindulge. And that's one thing about Tauruses, right? Especially if they have their moon conjunct Venus or if their moon conjunct in Jupiter, they may overindulge in their love and appreciation for these things, you know? These are the people that may overeat and then gain weight, or they may have sex a lot, you know? Drink a lot, smoke a lot, just watch a lot of TV, do whatever they do, but in abundance, like a lot. But this goes for a lot of people, like anybody that has their moon conjunct Jupiter. It just expands your emotional comfort. But on the other side, if you have your moon conjunct in Jupiter in Taurus, then you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge on Venusian things, on Taurus things, because Jupiter, wherever Jupiter is at, it expands whatever experience that you're going through, so you have more wisdom on that thingy. So you probably also have a lot of wisdom on emotional you can tell somebody how to gain emotional stability, you know. And also getting like touching back on Taurus's emotional stability, you know. Tauruses because they're very stable with themselves and they love and appreciate themselves and they like to build within themselves, you know, and with other people because of the love thing, because they love because of the Venus aspect there. And being in love kind of makes them comfortable, even though it's not so emotional, because earth signs and air signs aren't really the emotional people. Earth signs are more so the practical. So it's like, okay, I love you, but how can I formulate my love into something that you can see, touch, taste, smell, da da da. And then air signs kind of think about love in a more abstract way, you know, more so like, oh, let me write a poem for you and use my words and like impress you with my how smart I am and my like how I can mix and mingle my words and like play on word games and shit like that, you know. But basically, like the air and earth signs kind of don't. It's not so much about the feeling or the passion of it, like fire signs and air signs would express their loves, you know, their love. But for the most part, yeah, that's Taurus moon. Taurus moon people, these are very nice people to have around because they have like a specific aura about them, you know. Like they just being around a Taurus moon person, they just make you feel so comfortable. And like these are the type of people that they make you feel like you can be yourselves around them, you know. Kind of like the Leo sun sign where they like they just, or Leo rising sign where they like where they appreciate when you can feel comfortable around them, you know. And Taurus moon people, like they like when people are comfortable around them, you know. These aren't people that are judgmental. They share this with Pisces. They aren't judgmental. They like when people are just like free to do whatever, say whatever. And yes, they are sensitive to a specific point, but I see. Now let's talk about the negative side of Taurus moon, right? So apart from being like super lazy sometimes, and apart from being very stubborn, you know, and somewhat like aggressive with, because see, here's the thing with Taurus moons, right? They can be very dry in their expression, right? Because even though they have this practicality and they make you feel so warm and welcome and they have this Venusian side, they can be very dry with how they do things, you know. They can lack spontaneity and they can lack somewhat like, yes, they can lack like doing something new, because you may be like a Sagittarius sun and you're just kind of all over the place and you go with your feeling, you go with your instinct, and you go with your gut, you know. And you run this Taurus moon person and you're like, let's do this, and maybe like, no, I'm fine, you know. So in that way, they can be boring people, you know. They've great manifestors, but they can be very boring people, you know, where it's like, oh my god, like we've been going to the same restaurant for like 5 months now, like let's do something new. And this Taurus moon person, because once again, they're like, once they are situated in something that they like, they may look at you like, I mean, I like this restaurant, so why would I want to change that, you know? And then you as this mutable sign person, this is something that a Virgo sign and a Taurus person, this is something that they will clash on, you know, because a Virgo sun person would like to kind of like, because they're mutable, so they can like change and like adapt to things. And even though both of them are set on routines, you know, a Virgo can somewhat like know how to switch up, but a Taurus is like they can get very rigid and literally so unmovable, and that will piss off a mutable sign, except maybe Pisces, because the Pisces will be very much understanding, you know. Or if they're with an air sign person, this air sign person might feel like, oh my god, except Libra, because Libras are very compromising people, and those are ruled by Venus. But I'll even say Aquariuses, because Aquarius is also stubborn, right? But they're stubborn, but they're also changeable because of that Uranus, like unpredictable changes, you know. So they may not like being around Tauruses, or they may have an issue with like a Taurus, especially, okay, they may, for a while it'll be cool, and then this Aquarius person will want to change, and the Taurus will be like, why the fuck are you always changing? And the Aquarius is like, wow, you can't stop me. And then that's the little friction that they'll have, you know. But basically, like, the negative side to the Taurus moon is that they can be so unrigid and like very kind of boring, you know. Just unwilling to try anything new. These are people that won't like to try new foods. They'll probably order fries if they go to like let's say they come from Ekasi, which is a location places, which is in America like the hood, right? So let's say their whole life they've been living Ekasi, and then they only know, you know, chips, fish, you know, the basic Kasi meals, and then they go to like a Santon, and then they like read new words like caviar or whatever. They won't want to try those things because they've already situated themselves in, okay, I come from this place, and like I know these kinds of foods, so this is safe. You know, this is what they share with Cancer. They like safeness. They don't like getting out of their comfort zone. And that can be very frustrating for like the fire signs and the air signs and Virgo specifically. You know, a Capricorn may also like not like changes that much. But for the most part, Tauruses in that way, they like to, like, these are people that like to stick to their roots. You know what I'm saying? They love where they come from, you know, because they feel like that's how they establish their sense of self. You know, that's where their emotional comfortability stemmed from, is where they came from. So they won't want to change or like someone, because it's taking them out of something that they know, and they value things that they value things that have already made sense to them. You know what I'm saying? They value their own common sense, because this is the fixed sign and Earth is common sense, right? And it's practicality. So they value their own way of practicalizing situations, and they don't allow, like, you may tell a Taurus moon da 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 da, but they won't, like, if they've already decided in their head that this is what works for them, right? Then you're not going to change it. And another thing to them, let's say they have a Virgo sun, Taurus moon, or Capricorn sun, Taurus moon, right? Now let's say so they've already formulated, like, okay, the only way to drive, and I'll use my dad for example. My dad's a Taurus moon and he's a Virgo sun. So when I started learning how to drive, I was like, okay, I don't want to drive with my shoes because it's a lot more, I'm more free, and I'm weird. I'm an Aquarius rising, so I just like to do things the way I want to do things. But my dad, he had learned how to drive in his specific way, so he latched on to how to do things. And this goes for how he irons his clothes. This goes for how he cleans his room. He has a very like strategic way of how to do things, right? And me being who I am, a Gemini moon, Aquarius sun, Aquarius rising, Virgo sun, I have my own ways of doing things, you know. So because he had his own way of formulating how to do, and like his own mechanisms of how to do things, he was like trying to impose that on me, because that's the only, like, and I was like, listen, I hear what you're saying, but I want to do it in my way. But he's like, no, this is the way to do it, so do it. So in that way they can be very aggressive, right? So if you somewhat challenge how they think, they can also be very aggressive, right? And this is when they can like kind of step into a Virgo sun sign mode, and they can like nitpick and like criticize how you do things, you know, because it's like in a way you're like it's like in a way you're attacking their sense of like their own practicality, or how they think about things, right? So once again, like you as a Taurus moon, you may get around an Aquarius sun sign person, and they do things in a completely different way that you do it. But if, for example, like, let's say you're teaching as a Taurus moon, let's say you're teaching this Aquarius person or whoever person, then they're like, nah, I want to do it this way. You might even get frustrated with this person because you're like, I told you how to do it in this specific way. And then this person might be like, I hear you, but I'm going to try doing it this way. And then you get frustrated with this person, and then you may even like, ugh. And another thing with Taurus moon, this is the negative side of Taurus moon people. As soon as you get around people that talk about things that you don't usually talk about, you just walk away or you just shut down from situations. And that's fucking rude, right? Or if you get around, like, let's say you get around an air sign moon, right? And this is, okay, I don't want to talk about my ex-girlfriend, but you're a Taurus moon person, right? So how you love is through like touching and I love you, right? You get around an air sign moon person, right? Who wants you to mentally stimulate them, because it's only a specific like these to an air sign moon. It's like, okay, you told me you love me so many times, I get it, like, but tell me something about like what do you know about the clouds? Tell me something about different kinds of clouds. Tell me something you know about, I don't know, like materials of cloth. Tell me something, like mentally stimulate me, right? And then the Taurus moon will like, they won't care about mentally stimulation, because to them they'll only want to talk about things that they want to talk about. And then that air sign person will be frustrated because it's like, oh my god, all we ever talk about is how much you love me, all we ever talk about is shit that you're into, you know. And then a Taurus moon person won't kind of see another person's point of view, because once again they're fixed, and whatever they think, you know, they're like fixed onto that. So whatever you present to them, if it's not matching something that they can relate to or something that they already do, they shut it off. And this is the negative side of Taurus moon people. They can be very fucking stubborn and not changeable, and they can be somewhat very boring people and dry people. And then if you present something outside of what they know, they just like shut down. And my dad does this too. Like whenever I talk to him about something, because I'm a Gemini moon and I like to like da 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 da. So as soon as he feels like, okay, I'm talking about another topic that he doesn't really know, he'll just walk away. He'll just walk away, and that's the rude part about it. But usually, most of the time, I feel like Taurus moon people don't like to talk a lot unless they have an air sign, sun sign, you know. These are people that, like, they're very simple people, but they also, like, they can get very annoying in just how they just do the same thing all the motherfucking time. You know, and they like to plan things out. But on the positive side, they're very great planners, you know. They can plan the fuck out of a situation. They may be slow on how to, especially if you have, like, Taurus in the 10th house. You know, your stability and, like, your reputation and shit like that, your career. You know, like, every single step a Taurus makes, it's well thought out and it's well planned. So that's one thing that they're very good at. They're very good at planning shit, and they execute a vision very well, and they use that like that Venus air to it, and make it very like it's executed very well, but it's also it looks very beautiful too, you know. But also your house looks very beautiful. You probably smell good all the time, and you value like smelling good, and you value anything that is just good to your senses, you know. Good music, good food, good company. And that's Taurus moon. Next video I'm going to be talking about Taurus moon in the houses. So yeah, thank you.